Here you can navigate the tutorial. In the top left corner you have my semi-automated smeltery where I show you how I made a somewhat automatic smeltery. In the top right I show you how to get started with the tools and some of the effects and how they are. In the bottom left I show you the smeltery and how it's made, block for block. In the bottom right I show you all the tool upgrades and weapon upgrades that are with the Tinker's Construct.
Hello everyone, and today we're going to do a quick tutorial on the mod Tinker's Construct. It's a part of many of the Feed the Beast mod. So at the start you get these 3 books. They explain what a Tinker's Construct is and how it works. They are not that detailed, so I'll go more advanced into it. So the first step you'll have to do is make blank patterns, which I have set up right here. I'm going to make 3 of them, like so. Then you're going to make a stencil table, which is made by having oak wood below and then a blank pattern above. That makes a stencil table. Inside this stencil table you can put one of your blank patterns and you can find different patterns. So you can just walk through every pattern. It's free, so find what you like. I will go pick up that pickaxe head, and I'll go find a tool rod pattern as well as this tool binding pattern. These are the 3 patterns that are required to make the pickaxe that we are going to do in a while. Then you can have a pattern chest, which is made by having a blank pattern above a chest in a crafting table. You can put all your patterns in here, but no other material. As you see, I'm trying to right now and it's not working. So if you have this next to a part builder, it says past builder, but that's incorrect. You can have the pattern chest here at the side. These are stone shards. They are pretty much half of a cobblestone. You can use this. You can use cobblestone instead of the stone shards right there. So if I put in the stone binding here, it says that it costs 0.5, which is 1 stone shard. So there you go. Now we have a binding. I also like a tool rod, and as well as a pickaxe head. There we go. Now I have all the requirements for making the pickaxe. So then in the tool station you can actually put all these together. Select the pickaxe right there and put them in the slot, and that makes you a pickaxe. I'm not going to do that, but it shows you that it works. There are all different types of tools. You can read about them in the red book, Materials and You. Then you can also make another version of the tool station called the Tool Forge. I don't have it named here, but it is called Tool Forge, as you can see there. It's made with some seared brick, which we'll get into how to make in a minute. Then some block of iron, so this is quite expensive. And a tool station itself. Within this Tool Forge, you can make all kinds of tools, more advanced than what you can with the tool station. As you see, all these weapons cannot be made in the tool station. They are quite powerful weapons. So now we're going to move on to upgrades, so you can upgrade your tools. And I have them all listed in here. One upgrade is this right there. How to make this is you put dirt, rotten flesh and bone meal to make a graveyard soil. Then you take the graveyard soil, put it in a furnace, and that will make, which is extra damage against undead, meaning pigmen, skeletons, zombies, yeah, whatever you can think of. Then here's a fermented spider eye, and there's no recipe of that, it's just a simple fermented spider eye, and that's extra damage against spider. And blaze powder sets mobs on fire. This is stackable, so if you put multiple of these on, they burn for longer. Then there's a necrotic bone, and that is dropped by withers in the nether, and that you drain life from your target each hit. And then we have quartz, which will increase damage to all enemies. This is also stackable, so the more quartz you add to your weapon, the more damage you do. We also have knockback, which is a piston. And then we have ender pearls, which means that the mobs you kill have a high chance of dropping their heads, which is good. So those are all the sword or weapon upgrades. So we're gonna move on to more pickaxe and tools here. If you add a diamond to a tool, you get 500 durability. If you add an emerald to it, you get 50% durability. If you add lapis, you get fortune. So I believe if you add 450 lapis, you get fortune 3, give or take. If you add this, which is a ball of moss, which is made with mossy cobblestone in a 3x3. Right here, it also works with the mossy stone bricks. You get a ball of moss if you add that to your tool, or actually weapon. This works with weapons as well. It is self-repairing and repairs better in the daylight. But yeah, there we go. And you can also add redstone to your tools. It has no effects on the swords, but it adds haste, meaning you dig quicker. Also make this lava crystal, which sets mobs on fire if you have it on a sword, and it smelts all ores that you dig. This can actually be stacked together with the fortune, so you can actually smelt it as you get fortune out of it. And then it's this right here. It's made from this pattern right here. It's just it's a pattern, just as we made the other, and that adds 1 reinforced to your weapon, which I believe, I'm not too advanced into this, but I believe that is, for example, that you need X amount of reinforced to dig diamonds and etc. Right, so let's move on. This right here is a silky cloth, which is made from string all around, and some aluminium brass, which I will also get into how to make later on. That gives you a silky cloth, which then is needed for this recipe, which is silky cloth and an emerald, which makes a silky Yule, which adds silk touch to your weapon. Then we have some energy upgrades. This has no durability, but it is instead powered by EU. The rest is pretty much the same. This is powered by Red Flux, which is the new version of MJ in the Master Mod pack. This is the same pretty much. Then we have two ways of getting more upgrades or modifiers, as it's called, to your weapons. It's adding a diamond and a gold block. Then you get a new modifier. As you see, if I remove these, you only have 3 modifiers left, and if I re-add this, you now have 4. Sadly, this is not stackable, so you can't do this over and over again. Same as with this. It requires a nether star, quite expensive, but you get 4 modifiers, up to 4 modifiers. So if you do both these, a tool can have a max amount of 5 modifiers. Right, that's all the modifiers that there is for weapons and tools. We will now move on to the smeltery. So step 1 with making the smeltery is getting seared brick. To get the ingot version of it, it's just gravel, clay and sand like this, and you get grout. If you take this grout and put it in the furnace, it gets you get seared brick, which is this right here. We'll see it in a second. And with this seared brick, you can build pretty much anything that is with the smeltery. For example, the smeltery controller, which is required to make the full smeltery. For anyone that doesn't know, a smeltery is a way to turn your ingots to liquid, so you can make alloys with this, as well as it works sort of as a macerator, that you get more value out of your ores. It's a multi-block structure, so you need a... So to make the smelter controller, you need just to surround the seared brick like this, as you would make a furnace. Then you need at least 1 tank. You can add more if you like. Sear tank. It's made the same, but with a glass in the middle. Then it's just a basic seared brick, which is just a 2x2. And then we have a smelter drain, which is like this. And you need at least 1 of those. Then to add on the smelter drain, you need a faucet, which pretty much you're gonna put this on the side of the smelter, so you can get the liquid metal out somehow. The faucet is like a bucket, but with seared brick. Then you can make a casting channel, which moves the liquid, which is made like this, and you get 4 casting channels out of that. Then the smelted metals needs to go on a casting table, or a casting basin. So the casting table is made like this. We'll get more into the casting table later. And the casting basin is made like this, just upside down from that. If you pour down liquid metals in these, they will form a block, as I will give an example of right here. For example, if I go into this smelter controller, I can see that I have smelted 83 worth of iron ingots. So it's that form of, it's the ingot form. So I have 2 tanks on this. I just stack them up, and here's the inventory. If I were to, let's say, get some iron right here, more than that, I can only get 9 pieces at once. If I continue stacking this up, as I'll give you a demonstration. If I just add on this, that will increase the inventory of the smeltery. Like so. You can see that I now have more space here. And if you do this with ores, they are worth an average of 2 ingots per ore. So this is good. So if I now right click this faucet, it will start pouring out molten iron, which will go into this basin here, and at the end of it, it will form a iron block any second now. There it is, iron block. You right click that and you pick it up. It's now an iron block, which is quite sweet. Right, so now we're gonna go with casting tables. I'm gonna show you how to make the iron tools and above. The iron tools you can't make as we did with this, because iron is a hard metal and you need to smelt it first. So before you do that, you need to have a casting. So that's what we're gonna do first. To make the casting, you need aluminium brass, which is made by 1 copper and 3 aluminium, or you could also use a piece of gold for this. And if you look into the smeltery controller right here, we have worth of 9 molten aluminium brass. So now all we need to do is take our stone binding here, put it in the casting table, right click the faucet, and we'll go all around. Now we pick up this, and now we have a tool binding cast, which is just like the pattern, but it's more used for the smelter here. So I'm gonna do that with all these pieces, because we will need it for later. Right, and this one as well. Now you can, oh god, didn't mean to do 2 of them, but oh well. Now if you put an ingot in here, like so, and do this, you'll get an ingot cast. Like so. So now if I put that in there and pour this out, I'll start getting ingots out of this instead. So now we have an aluminium brass ingot, which I can put right there to make the nuggets needed for the upgrade over there with the silk touch. So, this is the first step. To make the iron tools, you just put iron in here, and you do as I did right here. Actually, we can go over, let's get into creative, let's show you that in action. Like to be in survival, thank you. Right, so I can just put the tool binding cast in here, right click that, and after a while I get a iron tool binding. I do it with all these, and then you just put it together in the forge. Easy as that. Very easy. So then there are some other metals. For example, here is molten alumite, which is the second step from iron, which is made from 1 piece of obsidian, 2 iron ingot, and 5 aluminium ingots. Keep in mind that if you use a iron ore, it will be worthwhile of 2 ingots, as well as the obsidian is actually worth 2. So in theory these are 5, 2, 2, but this is worth 2. So if you have a obsidian ingot instead, you will need 2 obsidian ingots, and then the aluminium ingots. Out of this you can make the alumite tools, which are quite strong. And the next tier after the alumite is cobalt, which is found randomly inside the nether, like this. The step after that, you just take this and smelt it, form a pickaxe as I did with these pieces. Then you have ardite, which is also found in the nether, not as common as the cobalt, but it exists. And if you mix these two together with 2 of each, you'll get a alloy called manulin. Exactly. And this is the top tier. So you can make tools out of that as well. So I have 2 ingots here. So out of these I get 2 ingots. There is a way to automate the smeltery. Somewhat at least. In here I have 323 ingots. I have a quite tall building right here. So here I have an autonomous activator, which in itself just right clicks this piece right there. So if I remove that ingot, it will start pouring the iron into this. This is due to this. And below this I have a wooden pipe and a redstone engine. So if I press this button, lever, start the redstone engine, it will continuously pour in here, complete that, pull it out. So this is a way you can automate it. Of course you need to put the lava in itself and the items in here, but you can do that all with piping as well. But this is just a way to automate the creation of the ingots. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.